From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. Fire crews are making progress on the Falling Star fire that's been burning north of Park City since yesterday. About 100 firefighters worked overnight and throughout the day protecting structures in the area of Falling Star Trail and Benedict Gulch Road. The latest on that coming up in just a minute. First, though, we learned late this afternoon that the city of Billings is closing City Hall and the Billings Public Library temporarily after 3 city employees tested positive for COVID-19. It's not known where or when the 3 employees contracted the virus, but both facilities are being closed so that a deep cleaning can be completed. The 3 employees are currently under quarantine at home. City Hall will reopen at 7 a.m. Thursday, but will only be open Tuesday and Thursdays until noon through August 14th. Normal hours will resume on August 17th. The library won't reopen until August 17th, but curbside services will continue Monday through Friday. Well, this afternoon, 3 more COVID-19 related deaths are being reported here in Montana with 60 new cases. 1 death reported in Yellowstone County, the other 2 in Bighorn County. The death total now 64 across the state. Yellowstone County is seeing the most active cases at 559. There have been 4,267 cases so far in the state, and of them, more than 2,600 people have now recovered. Well, officials tell Q2 that the Falling Star fire near Park City is now 80% contained and crews will start to go home tomorrow. That fire was started by people and has burned about 2,200 acres so far. Q2's Mitch Legge brings us more from Stillwater County officials. Mitch?
Firefighters are comfortable with the amount of progress that's been made on the Falling Star fire overnight and throughout the course of Monday. And it helped that they dodged a previously forecasted thunderstorm that was predicted to move through the area earlier this afternoon. The newest map counted about 2,200 acres of mostly private land that was burned by the fire. According to Stillwater County Disaster and Emergency Services, a few homes were scorched by the flames, but no structures were completely lost to the fire. About 300 homes in the area north of Park City were threatened, 100 of which were evacuated on Sunday. Residents were allowed back into their homes around 8 p.m. last night. 3 helicopters are helping to fight the blaze today, but Incident Command thinks that the fire is in good shape.
I just talked to the IC and he said it's getting better all the time. They're looking at switching out crews tonight, but everything is very contained within the black line, so we're looking great. We do not have any containment at this time, but we are looking at least switching and letting some people go home, and then we'll get new crews in tomorrow.
Officials say that this fire was started by humans, but didn't give any other details on its cause. Now, generally, the insurance company of a person who starts a wildfire can be held responsible for the financial cost of firefighting services. The investigation into who started this fire is being undertaken by the Yellowstone County Sheriffs. In Billings, Mitch Legge, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mitch. Stillwater County officials are expected to release a map of the fire area later this evening. Keep an eye out for that map and Mitch's story on KTVQ.com or the Q2 News app. All right, turning to Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire. And Bob, will the weather be helping or hurting this fire?
Well, it's done a little bit of both. Let me show you what it looked like. As you can see, this was a picture sent to us by Deverly Warnun, and this was yesterday afternoon, as you can see, about 6 o'clock or so, 6:40 to be exact. That's when the flames are really flying out there. But now let me show you what's happening on the Doppler radar. Look at that, there's Park City, and we did have a good batch of rain move through earlier on, but we also had some scattered lightning strikes just to the south of where the wildfire was. So that's the way things are shaping up there right now. There goes that rain again. Let's pull back a little bit farther and show you that the line of showers that moved through the Billings area now, that's starting to make its way all the way in towards the extreme eastern edge of the state, just getting ready to move into the Broadus area. There's a lot of lightning strikes with these things, so I would not be surprised to see more fires start up over in south central Montana and southeastern Montana as well. Over there in the southwest corner of the state, there's another batch of showers of thunderstorms there. We think those guys will start making their way up into the Billings area sometime around maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we could see another shot of showers and thunderstorms and maybe some more lightning strikes then as well. We'll have more about that coming up in a few more minutes. Russ?
All right, thank you, Bob. 3 hot air balloons crashed shortly after takeoff near Jackson Hole, Wyoming this morning, injuring more than a dozen people. According to multiple press reports, the balloons did not crash into each other and likely went down due to weather around 8:30 this morning. Mountain Radio reports 16 people were injured, with 1 flown to a hospital in Idaho Falls. A witness told the radio station that he watched as one of the balloons with a large basket careened into the trees. A man on one of the balloons told the Jackson Hole News and Guide that it started out as a beautiful ride, then, quote, all hell broke loose. He said they were trying not to fall out of the balloon. The accident occurred about 2 miles south of Teton Village. The National Transportation Safety Board will lead the investigation. Back to school this year is a challenge both here in Montana and around the country. The one big question that many school districts are dealing with is how to keep classes and students learning together even when they're apart. Q2's Krista Rose was in Laurel today to find out how they're effectively dealing with the issue.
At Laurel High School this morning, teachers got their first look at in-classroom software that will record their lessons live for students learning remotely.
Hopefully, this becomes a really cool part of teaching moving forward.
This new technology comes from Missoula-based Total Education Solutions in Technology Incorporated, or TEST Inc. for short. They've been helping schools in and around Montana for over 20 years incorporate new technologies into their classrooms. And this year, tech in schools is more sought after than ever before.
There's definitely a lot of demand. A lot of schools are looking for the different solutions. And so we're very busy right now, which is just educating and letting schools know what we have, and then, of course, installing as we're going along.
And what are they installing? Cameras and recording software. This technology was originally thought of to be a safeguard in the classroom in case of a medical emergency or dangerous situation.
The cameras are only about the size of a smoke detector, and what started out as a safety tool in the classroom is now turning into an effective education tool for students learning at home.
Well, the teacher will be wearing a mic because, one, even the students in the classroom will have difficulty hearing clearly the teacher, so they'll be wearing a mic, and at the same time then they can have their video recording so they can have interaction with the students both in the classroom and at home. So therefore the teacher only has to teach that lesson once. They can then would be also recording it, and so that if a student couldn't be there live, they could see the video later.
Superintendent Linda Filppula agrees and thinks that this will save teachers time and make learning more efficient for pupils studying remotely.
One of the challenges we had last spring was that teachers were kind of doing double duty, and students weren't on a schedule. Teachers were teaching way past the normal hours, and so this system allows a teacher to record their lesson.
While everyone wants to get back to learning together in one place, right now, for some, that's just not possible. This technology, however, could be the next best thing.
I don't see education going back to what it was, and so you really need to be looking forward. I think this is a great tool that provides flexibility for whatever situation we find ourselves in this year, but also moving forward. And I have every confidence in our teachers. They will take this tool, be innovative and creative.
Reporting in Laurel, Krista Rose, MTN News.
Thank you, Chris. The first day for Laurel Public Schools is the 20th of this month. And if you'd like more information on Test Inc., you can log on to ktvq.com. The Montana Army National Guard is gearing up for a virtual esports tournament. The Guard is hosting the video games online on August 19th. That event begins at noon. It's open to all Montanans ages 17 to 34. The tournament will hold up to 50 teams of 2. Sergeant Tucker Zimmerman is the host of the tournament and a member of the Montana Army National Guard esports team. He said they got the idea after seeing a similar event perform well on the East Coast.
They said it did really well on the streaming platform, got a lot of people interaction. I want to see that for Montana, of course. So we kind of started putting a competition together, and that's what we came up with. It might change a little bit here, depending on, we pushed it back to the 19th of August.
The registration for that event is now open. Well, be sure to tune in this Saturday night as Steve Daines and Steve Bullock meet for their first U.S. Senate debate. It will take place right here on Q2, starting at 9 p.m. MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison joins other Montana broadcasters for this pivotal event as you decide how to place your 2020 vote. Once again, Montana's first Senate debate coming up this Saturday night at 9, right here on Q2. Up next on tonight's Q2 530 News, we're going to take you to Bozeman, where over 60 animals have been rescued after living in some very rough conditions. And in sports, Scott's up in Red Lodge to show us what has kids buzzing about this hot spot in town.